Welcome to Mr. Holloway's Foundational Java Skills Series. In this video, we're going to talk about expressions. But before we get started, go ahead and like and subscribe and comment. Class is now in session. All right, so expressions are very simple phrases in Java, and we're going to look at a few examples. You want to think of an expression as, for the most part, anything that doesn't have an equal sign. So something like x plus y, or a divided by b, something that looks like that. Those are expressions. In the traditional sense in mathematics, we would have an equal sign. And so that would be an equation. All right, so let's look at some basic expressions. All right, so I'm going to paste some things in here. We're going to just look at some of the basic operators. So these are just simple expressions: 10 plus 2, 10 minus 2, 10 times 5, and 10 divided by 2. And these are just expressions with the very basic operators. And so when we run the code, we're going to get these examples. Now, when you're probably familiar with the plus and the minus sign, you may not be familiar with this, but this represents multiplication, and this / represents division. Okay, now just to show you the difference between the / and the backslash, you want to think of this as going forward, and you want to think of the backslash as going back, and that's not what we want. So in this case, we're going to do a /. Okay, so as you can see, we get the expected results. Now I do want to talk about something here, and I'm going to go ahead and comment these out, and I want to talk about division. All right, so if you notice the output, let's go ahead and run this again so we can clear this. So if you notice, the output returns an integer. Okay, now what happens? What if I did this? What if I took this, and I'm going to copy this code here, and I change this to a 3, and so now it doesn't divide evenly. Okay, what do you think would happen? Well, let's see. All right, so here we get 3. That's not what we're looking for. Okay, so there's a problem here. So with Java, it automatically cuts off basically the decimal points. So what we have to do, if we want the decimal representative, we have to make either one of these a double. Okay, now if you don't know what a double is, I do have a video, and I'm going to put that in the link. But a double is just basically a number with a decimal, and you have to make one of these a double. And so now when we run this, and actually let me go ahead and just put these side by side. I'm gonna on top of each other. So I'm gonna make this one an int, and this is going to be a double, and we're gonna run this, and you'll see what happened. And so now we get the full representation of the number, the double. And this is probably what we're looking for in this sense. Now, we could also do it like this. So we could also make this 10.0. And it will yield the same thing. So the main thing is that if you actually want a decimal representation, you're going to need to make one of these a double. Okay, and this is called truncating division. All right, and you just got to be careful for that. Now, for many of you, some of you are students, some of you are just learning the language and maybe looking to just improve your programming skills. If you're a student, this is something that will probably come up on a test, and this is a pretty easy fix. Okay, so just a little, let me just give you, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't want to scare you too much, but I want to show you how you can, well, actually, let's look at this. So let's say we have this long decimal point, okay, and that's what we don't. Let's say we only wanted to show the first two. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me see, I'm going to do .print, .println, and now we're going to make the output. So we're going to rewrite this so that the output is only going to show the first two decimals. So I'm going to say string, And we're going to say dot format, and we're going to write this expression here. So we're going to say, we're going to use the number sign, I'm sorry, percentage dot, if we want 2, so we're going to say dot 02f, and then that's our first argument. And then we're going to put, actually, I can do this. So we'll say do 10.0 divided by 3. And so that's going to just, oops, did I do this? Okay, here we go. So format, okay. So now we're going to be able to just show the first two, the first two decimal points after this. Now, again, I'm going to go into more depth with things like this and the arguments and methods and all that kind of stuff, but there is a way to control that. All right. If that was a little scary, don't worry about it. We're gonna talk about these kinds of things later on in the series. So, but I just wanted to show you that you actually can. Now, again, if I wanted to show the first 4 decimals, I could do this and just change it to a 4, and it's going to show the four decimals after the decimal point. All right, so let's continue on. All right, we're going to move on to the modulus operator. So we're going to talk about this. And so I'm going to write another expression, a very simple one. So I'm going to say system.out.println, and then we are going to do 10, and then we're going to use the modulus operator, which is this here, and I'm going to say 2. Now it looks like division, but it's going to give us a different result. So let's look at the result. So let me go ahead and comment this out. And we're just going to run this modulus operator. So let's run. And we get 0. Okay. Now, if this was division, it would be 5. But in this case, we get 0. So all this really does, it just gives us the remainder. And so if I were to change this to, let's say, 3. Okay. So how many times will 3 go into 10 evenly with, and basically it's going to have a remainder. And so let's look at what the remainder is going to be. And so when we run this, we're going to get a remainder. So this is not the answer. So we're not going to get the answer here, right? This is going to be a remainder, and we get 1. So it goes into, so 3 times 3 is 9, and then there's a remainder of 1. Okay, let's do another one. Let's make this 4. Now, can you guess what the remainder is going to be? And if you guess 2, you are correct. Now, one of the reasons why that you would use this, it's for the most part, is to check and see if a number is odd or even. If it's divisible by, if it's actually yields 0, then we know it's going to be an even number. And so that's a useful tool. Now, I do want to cover this. And these are actually pretty easy to figure out. And again, this is probably more guided towards a student. So what if these numbers were reversed? So we had a 10. Okay. So what do you think the answer is going to be now? So it's 4 modulus 10. So let's see what we get here. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to do a few more. So we get 4. Okay. So what if we did this? We did 6. What do you think we would get? And you're going to notice a pattern start to emerge. And let's do one more. And I'm going to do, let's do something different here. So I'm going to do 4, and then we'll make this a 20 or 12. That 12 is fine. All right. So when we run this, you're going to see the same pattern emerge. And so we get 2, which is here, so we get the remainder here, and then 464, so we get 464. So if you want to figure these out, a real simple way is that whenever you have this number that's bigger than the number on the right, it's simply just the number on the left. And that is really all the explanation that you need, because again, if you're a student, you have a test question, these are going to be very simple to answer. And so let's move on to the compound assignment operator. All right, so the compound assignment operator is very useful. I'm going to just paste in some code here. These, let me see this. Okay, so these are basically just a way to add 1 to something. So let's go through each one of these. So let's say we established a variable, so we're going to make it an int, and we're going to set its value to 0. Okay, and then we're going to do a system.out.print. So I'm just going to take this and copy this one. And I'm sorry, what am I doing? So I have x. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to print x. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to print out the value of x. So we declared a variable named x, and then we assigned it a value of 0. And then in this case, we're going to say x is equal to x plus 1. All right, so this is basically 0 plus 1. And let's run this, and let's see what we get. It's basically we're adding 1 to x. And so actually, let's get rid of these here so we don't have that code running. So this represents the 1 here. Now we can add 2, we can add 10 or whatever we want to this. Okay, so this is one way of adding a number. Now another way, and I'm going to comment this out, and let's just stick with 1 for now. Another way of adding 1 would be x plus equals 1. Okay, this is the exact same thing as this. Okay, so it's just shorthand, and we're going to run it, and we're going to get the same answer. So it's x plus equals 1. All right, and then another example, there's 3 ways we can do this. And again, with this, we could add 5, 10, whatever we want. And this is probably good in a situation where you have like a video game, and every time someone scores, they get 5 points or whatever. Now, another way, and this is actually even shorter, we can just go, and it's very probably called concise form. I'm going to do x plus plus. Now, this is only going to work for when you want to add 1. So if you're adding 1, this is another way that you can run this code here. Okay, so you're going to get 1. All right, now I want to show you just a quick chart, just showing you some of the things, some of the other uses of the compound assignment operator with addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. All right, so let me go. I'm just going to grab a chart here and just kind of show you some of the things you can do. And so we just covered the plus, so the plus operator, so the addition operator. So we covered the x is equal to x plus 1, x plus equals 1, and then x plus plus. Now you can also decrement, so x minus minus, you can do x minus equals, and you can do the same thing here. Now if you notice, these for division, multiplication, division, and the modulus operator, these don't apply. The concise form does not apply. So let's do one real quick. So instead of x plus plus, let's do x minus minus, and let's see what we get. And so let's run this, and now we get -1 because we're subtracting -1. And so this is just a basic chart. I'm not going to go over all of these, but the compound assignment operator is available for all of these operators. These are common as well. You can use them in various situations. Now let's move on to PEMDAS. Now let me comment out this code here, and I'm going to scroll up a little bit, and let me let me just paste this in here. All right, so actually, you know what? I need to do a multi-line comment. I'm going to do it here. All right, so PEMDAS, now this is not a math class, but I do want to talk about this because this is basically the order of operations. If you remember, PEMDAS is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, and division. And I'm just going to show you a couple examples of just how this is going to work. So let's do a few examples. All right, so let me paste some problems in here. And we're going to look at the these three expressions here, and I want you to notice that they are all formatted differently with parentheses in different places. And so here, this is just a straight 4 plus 5 times 3. And so according to PEMDAS, we need to do parentheses first, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, from left to right, from left to right. Now let's look at that. So in here, the priority is going to be the parentheses. So we do what's inside the parentheses. There's no parentheses here. There are no exponents. Now, multiplication and division are of the same priority. And when you have them, and I'll show you this in another example, but when you have them on the same level, you go from left to right. Now, there's a lot of these problems out on the internet, and many people just get them wrong because they don't know, they don't remember this process of going from left to right. And the same thing is here. They have addition and subtraction both have the same priority, but in this case, if they are in this situation where you have addition and subtraction on the same line, then you're going to go from left to right. And so let's see what that means. So let's run this. And we're going to go 5, 4. So in this case, we get 19, 19, and 27. So let's look at the answer. So how do we get 19 out of this? Well, we have 4 plus 5, and then we have 5 times 3. Well, this is a priority, so we do this one first, and we get 15 plus 4. That's where the 19 comes from. In this case, we have parentheses, so we're going to do what's inside of the parentheses first, and then we do 5 times 3, which is 15 plus 4. That gives us the 19. Now, in this case, we get 27, and we get 27 because of where the parentheses are. So in this case, if we did 4 plus 5, because this is the parentheses, so we have to do this first. And so 4 plus 5 is 9, and then we multiply. And so that's how we get that. Now, this is quite different from this problem because now you have a parenthesis, so we're going to have to do these first. In this problem, we had 5 times 3, so you're not going to multiply these two first. You're going to do this operation first. Now, let's do something where we have a, let's do the left to right thing. So I'm going to eliminate these, and we're going to do something where, let me see, so let's say if I have, let's say, I'm going to say divided by 4, times 3. So let's keep it like that. So in this case, and then let's go ahead and comment these out. All right, so in this case, we have, I think there's an issue. Oh, we have an extra parentheses there. Okay, so in this case, we have both multiplication and division. And if we look at our chart here, we have multiplication and division, and they're both on the same level. Well, let's run this and see what we get. Because is the answer going to be 12 divided by 4 times 3? So that'll be 3 times 3 is 9. Or do we get 12? So 4 times 3 divided by 12, and that gives us 1. So let's see what happens here. So in this case, we are going to get, and let's roll the drums. And we should get 3. So we should get 9 in this case. Okay, here we go. So we should get 9, and the reason why is because this is division, this is, and there's our answer. This is division, this is multiplication. They both serve the same, or have the same priority. But in this case, when we ever run into this situation, we simply just go from left to right. So we're going to go left to right. That gives us 3, and then 3 times 3 would give us the 9. And so that pretty much is PEMDAS. All right, now I do want to cover one more thing. So I'm going to come back up here, and I want to come back up to these problems here, because I did forget to put in the comparison problem. So let me go ahead and just copy this, and I'm going to run this. So let's say I did 3 equals 3. Now that looks very strange, but let's see what kind of result we get from that. This is equals, and so this is the comparison operator. This is not this is not equality, so we're not assigning a value. This is the comparison value, the comparison operator. And what the comparison operator does, it is saying, is 3 equal to 3? So does it compare to 3? And so what we're doing here is we get, and the answer is either going to be true or false. So if I were to change this to a 4, we would get false, because 3 is basically doesn't compare, or is not equal to 4. All right, so we get false. And then I want to do another one. This is the not operator. So if I were to change this to not, here it is. Okay. So in this case, I'm asking, is 3 not equal to 4? And so let's see what we get. Is this a true statement? Is this a true statement, or is this a false statement? Okay, so this is true. So 3 is not equal to 4. Okay, now if I were to change this back to 3, I'm asking, is 3 not equal to 3? Well, we are going to get false. All right, so we get 2 false statements here from running this. All right, now I believe that is all I need to cover for this video. I'm going to see you in the next video. And if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you in the next video. Class is now dismissed.